Oh, what a fabulous morning. Just going to go down to the plot, have a quick look, take Bunny for a walk at the same time, kill two birds with one stone, make use of this half an hour that I've got in the morning. Because this area that I walk through is just full of amazing natural garlic, wild garlic, look. And it's all been in bud, but this morning it's just come out with the morning sun, it's just all come out in flower, look, amazing. If you could smell it, yeah, it's pretty strong. Apparently people make this pickled garlic flowers out of this, but I don't know, I'm not sure I fancy that, so it sounds like a bit of a hassle to me. But a bit muddy still all the way through this path, but it's only a 2-minute walk to the allotment, so we're gonna let Spenny off now. Go Spen. Go Spen. It'll be muddy when we get back. This morning I've just come to have a quick check-in and open up the greenhouse and just check how things are going. So might as well do a little quick plot tour while I'm here. This is my dad's area. He's got his broad beans in, it's all looking very neat and tidy. His potatoes seem to be up, strawberries seem to be up. Oh, you won't hear me speaking about strawberries too much really, because he kind of has moved them, and he's organising his side of the garden, and this raspberry cane area was already in. The fruit trees looking good. These are pears, nice flowers coming on those. Woo! Yeah, looking much healthier than it has done before. This is my fruit cage, but I do plant some brassicas in my fruit cage just because it's already got the netting on, and there's a big spare area there, so yeah, a bit more space there for the little saplings I've got. End of the purple sprouting broccoli I've got there. Raspberries coming on nicely. Tayberry, that little line there. More brassicas in there, cabbages mainly, and a few kaleets, yeah, cabbages and kaleets, and the blackcurrant bushes and blueberries all in flower. Look at that, pretty, really lovely. Had a lot of those last year, so just quickly come round here. Potatoes up, yep. Should cover those, I guess, but I don't think we're going to have any more frost now. Let's go and just check the temperatures in the greenhouse. But this one's got a bit of protection, this border, but yeah, on my first lot of coriander almost ready to pick, but I'll wait for that to come up and bush up a tiny bit more. And there's the second batch there looking a little bit smaller, so yeah, we have tons of leaves ready to have another harvest. Pak choy, it was a bit late, so yeah, if you're doing pak choy, the best time really was to sow it in like August, September time, and then have it over winter. But I got mine in a bit late and it was really small and weedy, and so I planted a quick another set in early February, and this is the second batch, because the other batch is a bit bigger than that, and so I've had a lot of leaves off of those, and the lettuce just coming through, and more lettuce just coming through. Good morning, little seedlings. A few spares of the old coriander, and yeah, the little beetroots coming up now. They're doing okay. Bit of cover, so a bit of protection, so they're a bit more ahead than the things that I've got outside. Just pop my head in here. And here we go, look, nice spinach. I've had 2 pickings of this already, so just use this to mix in with my either stir fry or my salad leaves. And some more pak choys coming on there now. A few bits of this and that. Parsley's looking amazing. More parsley, 2 bushes and more parsley than I could ever eat. But I'm really envious of everyone's rhubarb, because look, this is mine. This is the first year, just put it in the spring, and tiny. You know, I fed it. It's had lots of Okay, let's just open up and have a quick look in here. We've got aubergines doing okay. Yep. What's the temperature? Right, this is 8 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, that was 13. I'm not sure what the low was in here, but I will check in the greenhouse back home. A few spares of my peas, and hey, woo, look at these, look. These have literally come on. The last couple of days it's been warming up down here. This celery have just warmed, look, they're ready to go out. Oh my goodness, that's a little job, and this week's so busy I don't think I can do it until the weekend. That's this child, but no. Celeriac though, oh my god, it's painfully slow. It's like, yeah, well, I've just been waiting for those to grow, but they have made a little bit of movement over the last couple of days, so I think celeriac's just a bit slow. More aubergines. Unfortunately, I bought some peppers from my mum's house, and they were inside, and they've had a little bit of sun scorching from coming straight out into 2 quite bright days of sunshine. But overall, they're looking pretty good. This greenhouse tends to be a bit warmer because it's right, it's open. It's just like, right out in the open, and it gets a lot more sun than my one at home. So although the one at home is more protected, this one does get a bit more sun. Let's have a quick look in here. And I did have 2 pickings in the last 2 weeks, but there's lots of leaves that have grown since day before yesterday when I picked, so I've just come back, and by the time you get leaf off of everything here, you end up with a big bag. It's well worth it if you love the leaves. Just take a little walk down to second plot. Open the gate. Come on, Spren, come on. So it's right next door. It's my shed. Top security here. Come on, Sprenny. Bit of a makeshift water butt, but at least we're getting some water off the top of the shed roof. And my potatoes are, looking good. And I have to kind of earth these up a little bit, but I will have to come and do these again. Now you can see I have got something coming up here, and this was no dig bed. So if anyone knows, this is this is like a monster strong growth, and I'm not sure if it's like echinacea or something, or some horrible weed. I don't know what it is, but it's going to flower very soon, and it's so low to the ground that it's different from the dock, so I'm not sure what it is. So if anyone knows what it is, please leave me a message in the comments and let me know what I should do. Obviously I'm going to dig it out at some point, but if it's not interfering with the potatoes at the moment, I will, although it is very close to that potato, so I might have to dig it out. I'm not sure yet. And we'll just have a quick wander over here. Oh, this is Daddy's area. Here you go. Look, neat and tidy. Double digging. Earthing them up. Yep, but you carry on, Dad. You carry on. That's fine. And underneath here, this is my row. It's the first time I've done this. There's a tunnel like this. But it's working okay apart from when it's really windy. So we'll just have to, let's have a look down that line. Oh, yeah. It's looking good. Yeah, cabbages, cauliflowers in there. Really happy about that at the moment. And look, the difference is that this row here is out in the open and has a wood chip either side. It's a more open plot. There's not many things for apart from a little wooden edged border there for the slugs to all hide it behind. And I tell you, it seems to make a big difference. So I've planted the same cabbages and cauliflowers in several areas, and in my other plot there, where there's a lot of grass and there's a lot of frames and canopies and things like that, it's just slugs galore. The difference is we're back home, and I just want to take you for a little plot tour on my home greenhouse, because it is a little bit warmer to a certain extent as it's more protected. Let me just show you. I've got a hedge. I've got the hedge covering all the way around, so it doesn't get as much sun, but it does get some protection. So the sun comes over east to west, right over the top. And let's have a little look at the temperatures in here. Right, we've got 13 degrees now. Oh gosh. Yeah, there you go. I know what I'm doing. 5.5 was the overnight low But in 5.5 it seems to be doing okay. As you can see, I've got like most of my tomatoes, I've got tripoliums, you know, some tender climbers, you know, I've got all of my peppers, which are carrying on. Now in the daytime temperatures, they're all starting to flower, you know. So Scotch bonnet, aubergines, you know, with those kind of temperatures, everything's looking okay. These are tender annuals. These are my Crema carpus. So although they're very slow, they're benefiting from the sun during the day. Some smaller tomatoes here that I need to pot on. My sweet corn, that came up indoors. I germinated that indoors, and then I've just moved it out. So a few more very slow celeriac, but they're finally coming on now, so that's good. And my poor little bougainvillea, I mean, when I was in, it is alive and it started to come back. God, how slow is that? And I had it indoors in the house. I don't know what temperatures they have to keep these things at, you know, over winter to get them to flower now. But obviously that shows the difference between Mallorca temperatures and here. Now I've had to plant these out because they started flowering. This is like the Morning Glory. It's the red one, so well, it looked red because they got so tall. But I'm just keeping them in here just so they can come on a little bit, because they were very spindly in tiny pots at my mum's. And yeah, I mean, look, this lettuce I planted, it's been in here mostly over winter, and I've just been taking leaf after leaf after leaf. You know, it's had so many harvests off of here, and so I'm just and that's enough. You know, this is enough for us just to have like one little border of lettuce. It can be enough just to pick one off this one little oh, whatever you call that. I don't know, can't remember what it's called now, but it's a bit very peppery, so I have to minimize that. And we've got a rogue Californian poppy which I can move into my my little wildlife border. Quick tour of the garden. It's looking fantastic though. Looking amazing. Look at my berberis. Wow, what a colour. What an amazing colour. And these Wolfenii, Caracas Wolfenii, been amazing. This euphorbia, I've had to cut it back because it got so wet, you know, you couldn't get in the greenhouse. And the roses just really just bursting into life. Look, new buds. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. This is the David Austin one. It's fabulous though. I took some cuttings off it, gave them to my mum. If you've got one of these, it's the cotonis, the red cotonis, smoke bush. Yeah, looking good. And look at my peonies. Oh my god, look. Woo! Wow. Buds are coming. Just mostly sort of spring things. This didn't do so well. I mean, god, look at the top of it. Look. Underneath, where it's a bit more sheltered, a few flowers. And I saw this in Mallorca. If you saw my video in Mallorca, you see that they have this as hedges, but so many things did a bit, you know, were struggling a bit when in the bad frost that we had. Another peony. This one just doubled up in size since last year, so that's really good. Yeah, and the first flowers on my Daphne. Once this starts flowering, if you could smell it, it's so sweet, it's amazing. But yeah, once this starts flowering, it just flower all summer really. My little herb garden, if you've got these here, if your chives have started to come into bud, I didn't know what to do with them. I guess I just let it flower and then cut them down and hope for some new stuff to come. But I'm glad all my herbs started. Oh look, I've got some flowers on these as well. Look, this has got a flower. There's sage. I didn't realise that flowered. Yeah, there you go. Sage flowers. Love that. Just quickly want to show you this is my take on my wildflower garden. You can see that it's the main road, but this was, it's underneath my hedge. It's underneath my hedge. It was just all the weeds going through like that. And so I've dug all the weeds out and I've just replaced them all with these poppies, like California poppies, which are all really taken. I've got quite a lot of calendula in there, which will all be bouncing away. I've got some other kind of poppies, and these were just all I kept these seeds from some plants. I have to keep the weeds out, but you can see it's as dry as anything. This is just like dust in here, but they love it. And yes, this is my take on, like, you know, the little verge underneath my hedge, which gets sun but it doesn't get much rain, so you have to come out and water every now and again. But the Californian poppies don't mind this at all. They're just bouncing away, so we'll have a nice display of flowers from that. And you know, you don't need a big area, you don't need to create a meadow. I should do the same with this piece of verge here, although I did have a rogue euphorbia, and I felt like doing it all in these euphorbias, because see how well this one's doing, and it's just a little seedling from a euphorbia that I had. So I'll just take up the rest of these grasses and weeds and use this area, because in here I do have, look, they just seed themselves. Anyone who's had that kind of euphorbia that just explodes, they'll know that the seeds just keep popping up everywhere. So I've got this little cluster here, and I'm just keeping these because I'm going to just transplant those into the verge outside and just create a little wildflower euphorbia hedge. As much as I love my veg garden, I do love my home kind of herbaceous garden as well. And I just want to show you this beautiful, this all coming into flower now. Mauricii, I think that's Mauricii, Viburnum Mauricii. So it's a plicatum, the nice one that's branched. Another peony. This is, I think this is the bowl of beauty, this one. Big pink bowl, and love it. And some of my delphiniums have actually survived over winter, which is great. The whole clematis is coming on really great, so we're all happy about that. Just created a bit more, and I don't know what this is, but it is amazing. I mean, it's just always a stick over winter, and then the flowers come first, like bracts, and then after that it all comes into leaf, and it's like a sage leaf. So I'll tell you what that is as soon as I know. And this Ceanothus is just popping into flower now, but this is a massive display. As soon as this comes out, loves it here. This border's like dry and sunny and sheltered enough for me to keep yeah, one of these, my memory. Sorry, I'll post it if I can. And I did have a big display from this clematis, this evergreen clematis here, all in white flower. And this one was earlier because the one out in the back is still out. This is my Tracheospermum, and usually we have a big display of white, smelly, lovely flowers as you're walking. So any of my clients coming around the back will be able to walk past this, and it's all smelling great. My hydrangea, my climbing hydrangea, it's all looking great now. It's taken a while to establish, but it's only in a pot, and as long as I feed it, it looks really good most of the time. It's another viburnum. It's just a bit earlier, this one. It's just coming out now, but lovely. And this is I just created a little kind of grass and allium border with some gravel down here. There's one geranium, but the rest of it is just alliums and lots of grasses that are just coming through. A daylily, more different alliums, just all popping up here. Some spring bulbs, just a little star flower. They're just going over a little bit, but they've been great, popping up. And this is my chocolate vine. So yeah, I love that. Oh, I can even give you the right number. Yeah, Kibia quinata, amethyst glow, and I've got 2 of those. Let me just quickly walk you through the back. Some beautiful tulips. More beautiful tulips. Thank you very much for coming back. Yeah, the lilies are coming up. That's going to be a great display. And from my kitchen window, this is from my kitchen windows here. And from my kitchen window I like to have these bright colours at the back so I can really see, and I watch the birds as well. But just look at this, look, the early colours of this amazing Acer. And this is one that survived because I've lost two. Before this goes over, let me just show this amazing rhododendron. And this was a specimen one, I think it's called Taurus. And it really took a while to establish. It was totally root bound. This is a mishmash in here. It's a bit of a shady mishmash of different things. So yeah, again, see, I told you this Clematis armandii is a slightly later version here, and it comes out and it's a bit more shady in the back, so it's a bit later. But God, does it grow. Oh my goodness, the times I've cut this down, it is absolutely huge. So if you want something to cover a fence and a display of white flowers, and it doesn't mind like a bit of shade or sun, there it is around the back there. My bamboo, that's staying in there for the time being anyway. And my archway just covered in, I've got a support here, but all of these lovely clem flowers coming through, and I've got a red rose in there as well. I'll show you that when that's in flower. But we just need to tie that in. So so much going on, and I feel like I skipped through it with everybody. This is a white rose, but spring's just such an amazing time when things are just everything. My garden is very much a spring garden, and as you can see from this border here, it's a shady border. We've got some tulips coming on, but we've got more of these spring star flowers and the peony. If I just take you back, then you can just see we've got the end, although that camellia has been flowering for about 6 weeks now, so it's doing really well. This Dharmera, so pretty and so unusual. It's like prehistoric. It just comes up, and then we have the Dharmera flowers, and afterwards we'll have this whole area will be covered in a huge leaf afterwards. Primulas. Oh, I nearly had the name of this one then. I think it begins with G. I can't remember what it's called, but doing great. And obviously the pulmonaria, that's everywhere. Little Dicentra, Spring-like Garden, Thulicterum, more Thulicterum, the black stem ones. That's the epimedium there. You see it's all coming up in the yellow flower first. Astrantia. But we have 3 disasters in this border because of the cold weather. This stick here was an Acer, and it just didn't come into life at all. I've just cut it down, and it's totally, as you can see, dead as a doornail. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. You know, that took me, that's been in this border surviving every year, although this is a bit sort of northeast facing. It's been having cold weather, and this one here, again, look, dead. This red one here is not doing at all well. One part of it's still alive, a little bit down the bottom still alive. So I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm meant to be doing with this. I had a hole at the back there. You might see there's the stick of the base of the Montana, and I had a Montana covering that shed and going all the way over this trellis here. Montana, dead. And I looked it up in my book, and it said that it was one of the hardiest. Montana grandiflora was one of the hardiest things, and in that really big frost that we had, that died. So unfortunately, and what puzzles me is that as I'm looking straight ahead here, I have that stick that you see straight ahead there. This whole one here is a Campsis radicans, which is a bit more tender, and that's all in leaf. That's all coming out into leaf now. All the buds are coming out, so that survived, and the Clematis montana didn't. So I'm not sure what went on there. Right, we're nearly there. We've just got this nice hop. This is the Aurea hop, and that will cover the whole of that trellis there. This is new to me. I put this in just for some backdrop. It's a Photinia pink marble. That's a new one to me. And there's a clem in there as well. So we're just growing things up. Yeah. Again, This is a nice purple clematis, a deep purple one with lots of flowers, and I've got another of the Akibia quinata, which we'll just cover. And we're going to see how that does in the shade. And my hostas, they're doing great. Look, hostas, and look at this one, it's amazing, big bouncy buds coming through, huge buds. Look, don't you just love it? Oh, amazing. I love hostas, and this will make a fantastic display. I'll show you a bit later on in the year, but it's fantastic. Great, thanks for watching, and thanks for taking the time to have a quick look around my spring garden, which is very much, you know, at its best in the spring.